Okay, a very good afternoon here on the 3rd of August 2018. Rishi Patel, co-founder, Master of the Markets, the Elite Traders Conference, and the Traders Open Day. A very warm welcome in to the weekly market roundup here at Master of the Markets. We'll analyze different markets, different asset classes, and you'll see that we'll go through the results as well for the week, as we normally like to do. More than anything, it's our own personal roundup for us to understand where we're performing in and around the current markets. How are our models doing? Where is the room for improvement? And that very much is what August generally tends to be about. We don't trade the market in August, as our senior clients on Live Trade Membership Advanced will already know. We don't trade the markets in August, and the reason for that is because the volumes do go down. So having said that, a lot more volatility as well. It's not ideal for us. So having said that, we will do a review of what happened over the last week. The reason for that is because we do close our positions into the end of July, which is the 31st, in preparation for the August month ahead. So did we close anything? The answer actually is no. If you look at the smart money, the swing profit systems, the prime profits, gold bars, there was actually nothing closed new here on the Elite Room. Let's take a quick look at the Live Trading Journal as well, Live Trading Room. So Live Trading Room, you can see again, not really much new that's happened here into this week. We haven't really closed anything out. We had a pending order on the Aussie dollar on the liftoff 3.0, but that never triggered according to the system. I think a couple of people were triggered into it according to their broker, but according to system and actually according to our cash account, we were not triggered in. We had a pending order sitting in on the low of this bar just here. So our entry was 7369. If I put in a line at 7369, you'll see it's there. The price did reach 73691. And so some people were triggered in based on their broker may have reached the entry price. We were not triggered in according to system. We were not triggered in according to our cash accounts either as well. But if they were triggered in, we would have closed the trade on this day here, which is the 31st of July. And that would have been closed for a loss of around 0.5% on that trade. Not ideal, but it's just the nature of the market. As I say, we were not closed, or we were not triggered on our cash account or on the system. As a result, it's in neither cash or system. It's not logged there. So money bars, again, we had a trade closed into last week. Nothing for cash in. So nothing actually at this time across these different various markets and strategies for us this week. So no P&L, so we're flat across the board, and that's okay. It's good to be flat. I would rather be flat than be in a losing week. So that's okay. We will continue to, of course, monitor things over August, but we're going to be placing our trades into September. So the first live trading room that will be taking place will be in September, and I've already told everyone the date. It's going to be the 2nd. The 2nd of September is the first live trading room as we go back for analysis of the 3rd of September for trades that we'll be setting up for the 3rd. So first live trading room back on the 2nd. Looking forward to the break. I don't know what you've all got planned. I'm going to Crete for a week for a friend's wedding, and just taking some time out generally. And just doing some trade analysis with the rest of the time, because I really want to understand how we performed this year, where we are against the system, where we should be according to our targets, and just see if there's anything that we can do better into the last 5 months of the year. So it'll be, in fact, not even the last 5 months, in fact, only the last 4 months: September, October, November, and the first part of December. So actually only 3.5 months, technically speaking, for us to make gains that we need to make into the end part of the year. Again, we're not putting pressure on the system, but of course it's important that we do follow the plan consistently, and of course be aware of how much time there is left in order for us to make any gains from the market. So let's talk about news, and this is the topic for the week. And the reason that I picked this topic is because this week we had a pretty big interest rate announcement here in the UK. And if you look carefully, you'll see actually that not today, but yesterday, there was an interest rate announcement, and we have moved from 0.5% to 0.75% on the pound US dollar. So I think that this is an important move for the pound, and what should have happened, technically speaking, according to many news sources and according to many educational sources, you can see actual is greater than forecast is good for the currency. The forecast was 0.75, the actual was 0.75, and so there shouldn't really have been much of a surprise or a shocker here. Generally speaking, according to Investopedia, it also says that increased interest rates in Great Britain often result in increased value of the British pound because investors seek to own pounds in order to obtain higher rate of return than available in other countries. So it's worth noting that we should have seen yesterday a large move to the upside, really, in the pound dollar. And if you look carefully at what actually happened on the pound dollar chart, you can see that we had a large seller bar. So we had a big sell-off yesterday, and it didn't stop. And you can see that even continued into today. However, a couple of interesting things have happened. First of all, this low has held. Okay, this low is held, and that's very interesting for several reasons. One, because what we were expecting, of course, to see was potentially this low being broken. But if that would have happened, then if you look at the weekly chart, we would have actually seen the third failed primary in a row on the pound against US dollar weekly. It's extremely unlikely to happen, and so this low has held. And currently we are seeing a little reversal taking place potentially here. Now we'll know more after the non-farm payroll announcement, which takes place in 45 minutes. But yesterday we were certainly not expecting to see a large drop-off. Now it is interesting because not yesterday but the day before in the evening, I had a couple of messages come through from customers asking me if I'm going to be taking a position on the interest rate hike. And of course the answer to that is no. How do we tackle news here at Master the Markets? The answer is we don't. If it's factored into a trade that we're already taking here in the market, which we have a mathematical and statistical reason to take, a quantified reason to take, we'll take that trade regardless of what news announcements are coming out. Now, if we don't have a reason to take a trade, then I wouldn't create one just because of a theory based on news. You can see here, yesterday, more than likely, a lot of people will have taken the market long because they'd have seen the interest rate increase, and look what happened, the polar opposite. But it's possible the pound may react into today and continue to travel higher. See, we really can't predict the market in terms of how it will react to news. That's why it's safer not to trade around news and only trade around specific, quantified, statistically proven mathematical reasons, which we have developed into trade strategies. And see, I would much rather be safe and create a slow and steady return rather than get aggressive and jump into the market at any opportunity on any high news announcement. That's not a safe way of trading. It's not a scalable way of trading. It's not a reproducible way of trading. There's really no point in making 4 or 5 grand in one trade and never being able to reproduce again and slowly giving back all your profits to the market. That's what we found in our experience that most people do. So how do we tackle news? How do we trade news? We don't trade news. We don't specifically trade news announcements. If it's part of a strategy, then we'll hold a trade through the news. It doesn't matter because we have a statistical reason, a mathematical reason to do that. So for example, today we're setting up here a PSWB. That's a bar that's closing above its mid-range. If it holds that position, then there's potential to take a trade long here, but there isn't, again, on money bars. Why? Because we don't have any failures, we don't have any English channel setups, we don't have a break of the previous low as well. So this spells multiple reasons for us. If I were to predict anything on this pound dollar, of course I wouldn't place a trade around it because the level of discipline that we have here, but my prediction would be that this will travel higher into today after the non-farm payroll announcement and go ahead and start becoming and breaking some of these previous swing highs. And I feel like this will be the bottom of the pound dollar market. I mean, that would be my call on it. Several other markets which we are looking at the moment as well. One is the Dow, and you can see here, again on the daily chart, look, you've got one failed primary just here, you've got another failed primary here, and now you have another primary set up which hasn't yet confirmed as a swing high, but is also looking like it could potentially be a failure as well. So it's an interesting market. It's very much an uptrend. We're looking for trade opportunities long. and you can see potentially maybe some people are holding long opportunities here and being knocked out of these trades here. And there's a lot going on in this market at the moment. If we look at the Bitcoin market, again, it's really interesting because we are seeing a retracement. We saw this large sharp move higher. I'm sure everyone would have jumped back onto Bitcoin at this time and said that this is the right time to buy and we've reached the bottom of the market and everything like that. But if you're observant, you'll notice, and I got this call right, exactly right last time as well, when I said that certain gaps from previously in the year would be filled before we saw moves higher. And this was one of them. We saw that this gap hadn't actually been filled. And actually, interestingly, what happened in the market then is the price did come back to fill these gaps. It was really interesting. And now look, again, another gap has formulated here. This has not yet been filled. So this gap is around the $5,800 mark. I'm expecting, and one of the things we are looking to do here at Master Markets is start to invest into some ICOs, especially into Bitcoin as well. We do see that as potentially the future, but one of the things we're doing is looking to get in on the right opportunity, the right price level. Look at this. We expect for this gap to be filled. Maybe it not happen straight away. Maybe it won't happen at all, and that's okay too. But we expect this to happen. This would be our expectation. We look to find a good primary entry point for us onto this pound dollar technical chart, and then of course we'll go over to the exchange and buy the coin from that point. But we'll do that according to technical signals here in the market. So that's the Bitcoin daily chart at this time. Not really too much else happening on these various markets at this time. You can see again here on the euro dollar, a lot of accumulation did take place here before you saw this spike lower. So do bear this all in mind. It's an interesting chart, interesting setup at this time, and we'll wait the non-farm payroll announcements to give us a clearer view on what the next coming weeks hold. So let's wait for that. Let's keep in touch here. We'll keep running various videos throughout the August as we see fit, and of course we'll be back in full swing in the month of September. Wishing you all happy holidays for those of you traveling. Look forward to speaking to you all soon. Until the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master. Bye for now.